Please remember to subscribe. It's just one click for you, but it helps me a lot creating new videos. Thank you. Please share this video. Global lockdowns cause global malady. The rich get bailouts. The poor get handouts. The rest of us get to kick in for that and get a kick in the head as thanks. And yet the poor keep voting for it. Shall we play a game? How about global nuclear debt inflation? The value of your portfolio will double, but prices for everything will quadruple. Are you prepared for your life savings to be cut in half over the next 5 years? Shutting down the economy to create a dependent class is the perfect way for politicians to enrich themselves. The peasants will be clueless about it all. The Fed will eventually have a choice to make: allow inflation to crush the economy or hike rates and crash the economy that way. 50% of zero is still zero. After 2009, when the financial fraud first became blatantly obvious, many predicted that Fed kicking the can could only get us 3 to 4 more years before another collapse. With modern digital technologies, we can double the currency every year for perhaps another 20 years until there is a 64-bit integer crisis. If we then switch to 128-bit representation for currencies, we can go on another 80 years or so. America isn't crumbling. It is deliberately dismantled. With a counterfeit currency, it's an algorithmic certainty. The collapse of Texas is foreshadowing the total collapse of America, by debt or by the sword. Debt could be even higher than projected. If policymakers enact $2 trillion of additional fiscal relief, extend expiring tax provisions, and grow annual appropriations with GDP, the debt would total 120% of GDP by 2031. It's frightening debt growth, with too little to show for. And no end in sight. Parabolic expansion of debt of increasingly poor quality. Terminal phase excess on an unprecedented global scale. Intensifying monetary disorder. Manic market bubble dynamics, and an ever-widening chasm between inflating asset prices, perceived wealth, and deflating global prospects. Record stock prices versus a near-catastrophic collapse of Texas's power grid. American society is taking too many blows. The intensifying drumbeat of a wrecking ball. If ramifications of a bursting bubble are not worrying, you're not paying attention. Paying down debt? Honestly, if there's ever a reduction in new debt, which is what the stimulus is for, there will be a financial black hole so strong the United States will be Zimbabwe on steroids. There's no extra money to pay down debt. They can't even make interest payments without borrowing more. Fun times ahead. We're not getting out of 2021 easily. The die is cast. Do we even know what's going on anymore? Everything is fake. Everything the media and politicians say is the opposite of reality. Nothing reported as real, it is all propaganda. We are all participating in a lie produced by the elite, directed by the media, starring the politicians and Hollywood. This is not collective madness. This is totalitarianism and sheep doing what they're told. There are so much pure madness and lunacy going on today. No point in attempting to clear the view, the lunacy has surpassed the point of rectification. In fact, going against or with the madness at this stage is self-destruction. Best to move aside and casually prepare for the inevitable. The economic implosion already happened. 3 decades of shipping our production to the Chinese Communist Party, to the betterment of fine folks like Romney, Pelosi, McConnell, Amazon, Walmart, and so very many others. This seems disingenuous. When you're throwing money out of a helicopter, you, by definition, don't really care and don't have much control over where it goes. If you offer money without oversight, this will happen. If you push money out the door, this will happen. The pandemic was swift, so we had to respond. Next, the debt overhang. We will inflate our way out of this. Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus followed by $3 trillion stimulus followed by UBI followed by free stuff for the planet. The whole setup is a fraud, which encourages more fraud. The right way should be Congress authorizes the Treasury to directly fund the PPP money to the needy. Letting banks taking a cut on the money they don't even have is a fraud and crime of enriching a few at the expense of the rest. This is the reason this country will never recover. Too many people here prefer free stuff over freedom. The bottom line is you are on your own. No person, entity, or government is going to take care of you. Good luck to the nanny state proponents. You are in for a rude awakening. Welcome back to the Atlantis Report. You are here for your daily dose of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Please take a second to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to also hit the notification bell. If the American electorate thinks they can get a couple of bucks from their neighbor, a majority will gladly sign on to anything. No matter how ridiculous or nonsensible it is. Call it whatever you wish. Call it Biden care, bureaucracy fleecing, call it print a barrel of cash and hand it out. And it doesn't have to be proven, or sound, or logical, or anything, except free. Those that are in debt up to their ears, which is most, don't give a damn how much you devaluate the currency. Plus, if you asked them the meaning of devaluing, they would stare at you in disbelief. That $30 trillion debt isn't going to pay itself. I keep thinking that the criminals in charge are aware of a greater geophysical threat to the planet that they are not making the general public aware of. They are acting like there is no reason to worry about the future. Fraud is rampant in every sector of the government. They don't care, not coming out of their pocket, it's going in. Billions are not even rounding errors anymore. Crisis? You kidding me? Handing out cash is their reason for being. In the meanwhile, they are going to print $2 trillion more to make even more fraud. Open up the printing presses. Print until the cows come home. End the reserve currency status and the borrowing and spending that result. Weaken the federal government. A semblance of liberty might return. It should be patently obvious that the federal government's role in our lives should be cut by 2/3. It is simply too big to be of any true use to regular people. I know this will make the pigs in DC squeal as the slop trough is shrunk, but it is necessary to save our country from its demise brought on by its own volition. The self-employed are broke, as the government crushes business owners while no state employees miss a meal and are guaranteed comfort in perpetuity. When you think about the gold-plated pensions of these government leeches, and you interface that with the fact that the Fed is destroying savers with their zero-rate policies, these $100,000 per year retirement pensions are the equivalent of sitting on $10 million plus in savings earning interest. The government discriminates against honest people. The feds do not care about the fraudulent use of money because it is not theirs. They'll just print more or steal more from us tax slaves. Our politicians and their billionaire globalist friends that bought them come right out and tell you you are going to have to live with less energy. This country used to have more electric power than people could ever use. They have been shutting down coal power plants for years. Let's add 285 million cars that right now are being powered by oil to electricity and add that pressure on the power grid. That will work out so well for us. They forcibly closed small businesses for a year, and now they want them to pay their employees to double. This can't be just mere stupidity. They want to bankrupt small businesses and their employees to make them dependent on government handouts. The pandemic and the ensuing lockdowns were the perfect excuses for the globalist woke heathen to implement their plans of forced pauperism and usher in a neo-feudal political system. Never let a crisis go to waste. Shutting down the economy to create a dependent class is the perfect way for politicians to enrich themselves. The most egregious act of the pandemic aid fraud was the fact that every state and federal employee in the United States never missed a paycheck. $1.9 trillion here, $1.9 trillion there. And pretty soon you're talking real money. That be like non-stop wheelbarrows circling the moon and back. Call me when the $6 quadrillion derivatives market completely implodes. It's already started. Print away, boys, the time has passed for any possible way to save this economy from implosion. When given the power to print, the primate brain can never see the end result. Law, Ludendorff et al., were not aberrations. I would suggest using fiat to procure items of daily utility. The Stoic "this too shall pass" should become the mantra of all thinking Americans. What's funny is most of the trillions of dollars given away didn't go to people in need. It went straight into the pockets of lobbied interests. It appears all these government parasites of every stripe and color grabbed some. The wealthy and street-smart people grabbed a lot and stole a lot. The poor slob who works 12 hours a day on the docks or warehouse is not smart enough to know how to fill out all the paperwork and steal some. I have not looked at the paperwork for these PPP loans, but I bet they were daunting. Wait until Biden and mob hand out $1.9 trillion to the thieves. How much kickback does the big guy get? Next up, a hyperinflation. This will be the continued euphoria that printing tens of trillions of dollars and other currencies brings. Yes, the lower classes will be hungry, cold, and stay broke, but the middle and upper classes will buy more Bitcoin, more stonks, and more houses. People won't see the depression coming. They will wake up one day, and there will be no price basis to compare one asset to another. It will be utter chaos as people barter cars for houses and gold for land. Dollars won't buy anything. The problem, reaction, solution. The solution will be digital tracking. When all else fails, they always take you to war. War, the ultimate fear control. The ultimate distraction. Start preparing. Food, water, meds, guns, ammo, security, energy, solvency, precious metals, freeze-dried food, water filters, reloading supplies, camping supplies. You will need all of it soon.